Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I want to share something interesting that I was seeing this morning. It was just more of an energetic feeling too. When I tuned into the energetic field surrounding Iran, I like to say Iran, right? There is a different pattern that is beginning to emerge there. The energy does not necessarily suggest a quick confrontation or a traditional military victory. No, I don't see that. But instead, rather, the energy was carrying more of a signature of endurance and pressure, like a strategy built around stretching, say, a conflict out of forcing the cost to rise over time. That's the key word. Strategic. Strategy built around stretching a conflict out and forcing the cost to rise over time could be the winning method. I don't know. So the focus of this energy does not appear to be the United States military directly, even though we know they're going to get involved, and other Western countries as well. But I feel like for the United States, the real pressure point, and Iran knows this, seems to lie within the economic systems that hold Western powers together. That's another key word. Economic systems that hold Western powers together. In that sense, I believe the Gulf region becomes extremely significant. Nations such as Saudi Arabia, for example, or the United Arab Emirates, and you have Qatar, they sit at the center. They sit at the epicenter where the energy flows. And that is oil, global finance, and large investment streams that are deeply intertwined with the United States of America economy. Quite interesting. But I have to share what I'm getting on an energetic level, and it's so strong. All right, let's carry on. And everybody is going to have their own opinion, and that's fine. This is not factual. But when I look at the statistics along with intuition, I guess, looking back at the broader energetic picture, you could say, the objective does not necessarily appear to be all about conquiring territory. For me, looking at the energy, the pattern suggests more of a destabilizing of the frameworks that support the current alliance structure. And let me tell you, if enough pressure is applied to those economic and logistical systems, the effects would not stay contained just within the Middle East. No, they would spread into global markets, investment flows, and financial networks tied closely to the United States. Let me quickly sum it up for you. In other words, the strategy would not require winning a single decisive battle, and the strategy would be Iran, okay? The real impact would come from weakening the structure that holds the system together like glue. Weakening the structure that holds the system together. Oh dear. So from an energetic perspective, the vulnerable point is not necessarily a battlefield. Let me just give you a quick example. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most sensitive passages on Earth for oil and trade. I don't think a lot of people understand that. Even partial disruption, there would be ripple outward throughout supply chains and markets worldwide. And that's what I believe is going to happen, and that is their goal. There is also another layer to this, guys, something that we need to consider. Many may not know this, but the Gulf states depend heavily on desalination systems for their drinking water. I learned this when I went to Jordan years ago. I had no idea, but it's true. And any disruption to those systems could create sudden internal strain within those societies, placing enormous pressure on their stability. I mean, you have to have water just as much as you have to have oil. You have to have water more, right? You don't live without water. And they depend on it to be cleansed and sterilized for their drinking water because it's so dry over there. Think about it. Oil for the West, water for the Arabic Peninsula. And Iran is like, hello, I know this, I got you. Yeah, and if that structure begins to crack, as it will and has started, the consequences would be, they would not be isolated, guys. The shock would move outward through the global economy, touching far more than the original conflict itself. And that, my friends, is my take on this on a spiritual level, energetic level, and just my own personal opinion, taking the light worker stuff out of it. I do believe that Trump is trying to off-ramp. He's trying to off-ramp because he knows that he listened to someone from Israel that clearly doesn't give a fuck about no one but themselves and their own wants and needs. And I could go on and on and on about all of the world leaders, but I am not going to, and I choose not to go into the auric field on a personal level and read them because they're dark. They're dark. And some of these world leaders, they mirror each other. It's almost scary how some of these leaders are exactly the same. Even some world leaders who have passed on, they have mirror images still in the living. And I don't want to get into those energies because afterwards you have to clean that shit up, and it's not easy. Because some of these world figures, these elites, are absolutely disgusting, and they leave behind dark particles that want to expand and grow and take over your mind on a subconscious level. And I prefer not to have to cleanse so much. And many readers probably feel the same way I do. It's not worth it. We just need to stay focused. And yeah, I just want to share my opinion on what I think is going on in Iran, and I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you guys for listening.